Hello all and welcome, and I'm the MGTOW Philosopher, and in this video I would like to discuss an article I read about traffic stops in Georgia, leaving children without their immigrant parents. Oh, it makes the heart bleed, doesn't it? And of course the name of this website reporting is Think Progress, meaning it's a progressive website. Of course it is. So let's dive right into it, shall we? So, traffic stops in Georgia are leaving children without their immigrant parents. It would appear any infraction found during a police interaction can lead to deportation. Yeah, if you're illegal. if you're not a citizen. Yeah, amazing that not being a legal American can get you deported. Who would have thunk? Lovely picture. Arresting illegals. You gotta love it. Foreign nationals were arrested in February 17 during the targeted enforcement operation conducted by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE. In this picture, wonderful. Alicia Ortez Mojica, whatever the hell her name is, an undocumented immigrant from Mexico, was driving with her two daughters. Now, you can already tell this is a puff piece already. It's designed to make us feel sympathy for these poor, pathetic people. Oh, I'm going to turn this thing on its head, and you're not going to feel any sympathy for them at all. Trust me, when I'm done, this will not be a puff piece. Two daughters for a day out in April. Okay, first of all, how is she driving around? How does an illegal alien get a driver's license? Oh, they're allowed to get driver's licenses. How nice. Oh, and she's driving around. Does that mean she has car insurance too? So illegal aliens can get car insurance as well. Wow, what a contradictory message you are sending to these people when it's illegal for them to be here, yet they can get everything that an American citizen can get. How about that? She was driving her two daughters for a day out in April when she allegedly ran a red light. Okay, so, well, first of all, she's a lawbreaker, so she's running red lights, so that's her fault. She got pulled over because she broke the law. It's her fault she got caught, but by leftist logic, it's the right's fault because they had the audacity to arrest her, or pull her over at least, which would of course mean they would check her identity and see that she's illegal. Oh, but that's the police's fault. Whose fault is it that she's there illegally? Who walked across the border and brought themselves to America illegally? Oh, it was her. A police officer pulled her over and found out that she had been driving without a license. Oh, so she has no license. Oh, geez, maybe somebody should have told her she could get one as an illegal alien. Maybe not in that particular state. Maybe she should have went to California. A privilege not granted for people without Social Security numbers. Well, she could have stole a Social Security number. That's pretty easy to do. Over the course of the encounter, the officer allegedly found out about a prior arrest. Oh! So she is a repeat criminal. Oh, but she's so wonderful. Let's feel sorry for her. From 2016, immigration advocacy groups say for another instance of driving without a license. Oh my, really? So if she had no license, she had no car insurance either. So she's driving around, putting other people's lives at risk. If she hurts someone, gets in an accident, injures people, she has no insurance to cover them. No insurance company to pay out, to pay the other people's medical bills. This woman is very irresponsible. And of course it shows because she's in this country, in America, illegally. Ortiz's 15-year-old daughter, Elizabeth, and a younger daughter were in the back seat and witnessed the arrest. With Ortiz in handcuffs, the officer reportedly waited for Elizabeth to call a licensed friend to drive them in the car to a relative's home. It was really hard when she got arrested. I cried a lot. Yes, we have the words of one of the children in large italics. Call us to her suffering, you poor thing, you. Oh, boo-hoo. It was really hard when she got arrested. I cried a lot, Elizabeth told the Think Progress in a phone interview. Her uncle, who is now her guardian, granted permission for the phone call. Her guardian? Why? Why didn't she just go back to Mexico with Mommy? Because of a long-standing law enforcement collaborative program with the Federal Immigration Agency, Ortiz was turned over to the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, agency for potential deportation proceedings. Very, very good. She has been detained at the Irwin County Detention Center in Georgia for the past 2 months. Good. If we detained and put everybody in prison who came here illegally, they would stop coming. Ortiz is among a growing number of single mothers. So what? Oh, yeah. Oh, you got to point out she's a single mother. Is a number among a growing number of women. Why should the fact that she's a mother have anything to do with her legal status? She's an illegal alien. Oh, because she popped out a kid here, we should give her legal status too? Oh, that's a really good idea. The whole freaking world would travel here and pop out kids so they become Americans. What a stupid idea. But of course, you're a Democrat. You'll love that idea because then you're going to have votes out the ass forever, and you'll always be in office because you're too much of a loser to get a real job. She's among a growing number of single mothers placed at the Irwin County Detention Center over the past 5 months. Yeah, because Trump got rid of all those ridiculous deferred action bullshit executive orders that he passed that said, oh, I'm not going to prosecute 30, 40 million people, which is how many illegals are really in America. So over the past 5 months, concerned advocates say, following nationwide immigration enforcement, yeah, the laws are actually being enforced. We don't live in an anarchy anymore. You just do whatever the hell you want. We're following nationwide immigration enforcement operations after President Donald Trump signed a number of executive orders broadening far more criminal convictions punishable by deportation. Yeah, he withdrew a lot of executive orders that Obama had put into place, that's all. During a master calendar hearing, an immigration judge set a $12,000 bail bond for Ortiz's conditional release. Yeah, right. No bail releases for these people where they just disappear and never show up. Okay? Now it requires real money. Just like any other friggin' criminal. People talk about people being oppressed and white privilege. This is privilege. You go to a country, you break the laws, and you can just walk out scot-free and never have to return to court. And they can't find you, of course, because you're not a citizen. You're not in the system. Now they're actually being held to account and treated like real citizens would be. There's actual bail. You're being held accountable for your actions. You want to be an American? There you go, baby. You have to live by the same rules that we do. For Ortiz's conditional release and set the court date for June 27th. Okay, but family members, namely her 4 children. 4 children? Holy shit! What the fuck is she doing, a single mother with 4 kids? Oh, I'll tell you what she's doing. She wants that welfare cheddar. She wants that welfare cheddar, baby. She wants all that welfare, and she wants those fucking anchor babies. I guess she figured, I have 4 kids. I'm going to get so much welfare, I'll be living like a queen, and they won't dare to kick me out of the country because I got 4 kids to take care of course. Yeah. No more virtue signaling. Brownie points for you, honey. You're getting kicked out. You should have thought about that before you had 4 kids in a foreign country where you're not a citizen. Go back to Mexico and cook burritos. All under the age of 18 have been too poor to pay the amount. Yeah, they're only getting welfare money and food stamps, which supports them very well, but of course they don't have $12,000 in cash lying around. Good! They shouldn't have $12,000 in American money lying around. They're not able to work illegally. Ortiz's job? She doesn't even have a social security number. It just said she can't get a driver's license if she has no social security number. So she must have bought somebody's social security number, got a fake social security number, but she's too goddamn lazy to go and get a driver's license, or this particular state doesn't allow you to get one. We know it's not California, where a citizen, an illegal alien, can act like a citizen and vote, and we all know that millions of these motherfuckers voted in the last election. Don't tell me they didn't. We already have proof that they did. Not California, honey. If you want to have all that nice free shit, go to California. Ortiz's job is a graveyard shift poultry worker. How is she even getting a job here? Well, right, of course. Lying and giving fake social security numbers that isn't hers. Shift poultry worker left her living paycheck to paycheck to support her. Paycheck to paycheck. She got 4 kids. She's getting tons of welfare. Are you kidding me? Paycheck to paycheck. All her food is covered. She's probably getting money from WIC or something, and for rent, too. Don't tell me she's living paycheck to paycheck, please. She's doing very well. She's driving around in a car, for God's sake. How's she got a fucking car if she's not doing well? How many poor people don't have fucking cars? She's driving around in a car with her 4 kids. She can afford expensive gas, drive around with a freaking car, but she's living paycheck to paycheck. Yeah, she's living paycheck to paycheck, but she doesn't have to buy food for her kids. Yeah, she's real oppressed. Without any means to save up for circumstances like these, her family members also lack the funds. Yeah, the Obama era is over. You can just walk across the border and be sure that not only will you not get arrested, but the Border Patrol agents will collect you, put you in a bus, and drop you off in the closest city and say, here you go, bye. No, not happening anymore. Since Trump took office, his administration has encouraged local law enforcement to help the federal government identify suspected undocumented immigrants. Yeah, that's their job. That's their job, because these people are breaking the law. That's their job, is to identify criminals. People breaking the law. They're automatically criminals if they come into the country illegally. They're called illegal aliens for a reason. That makes them criminals. When you break the law, you're a criminal. Oh, that's 100% the case. And it should, by the way, should be a felony. Okay, it should be a felony for these people to cross into our country illegally. It's a felony for Mexico. Oh, but Mexico is not a country of immigrants. Yeah, it is. What do you think Spain was doing there for hundreds of years? Most of them so-called Mexicans are Spanish and from Spanish origin. Every fucking Mexican in Mexico has Spanish ancestry. It's a fucking country of immigrants as much as we are. And by the way, the United States didn't even exist as a country until we built it. So no, we're not a fucking country of immigrants, you morons. I made a video about this too. You should look for it. You'll find it very easily. Localities that have resisted have been publicly shamed by his administration. They should be. They're not real Americans. They're virtue signaling leftist morons trying to get more votes. Furthering the crackdown on the country's undocumented population, U.S. Department of Homeland Security Secretary John Kelly, who oversees federal immigration enforcement operations, has said deportation proceedings would take place after a single DUI. Excellent. They should be taking place without the DUI. We should be going through neighborhoods, knocking on doors, asking if you're a friggin' alien or do you have papers. In a recent congressional hearing, acting ICE Director Thomas Homan warned that the deportation dragnet would include all undocumented immigrants, inclusive of people without criminal records. Very good. All of them. All. Doesn't matter because they are criminals automatically. As a result, local law enforcement authorities are now holding immigrants they otherwise may have considered turning over under the previous Obama administration. You mean the Obama administration that right when he came into office, he went on TV, he went on the media and said, come on in. We won't arrest you. You're welcome here. Come on in and suck off the teat of our great nation. Get all the welfare benefits you can. Make all the money you can that you can send back home, and therefore that money doesn't get taxed in America, it doesn't get spent in America. And so we lose tens of billions of dollars every year just from that alone. Sure, come on in and take our benefits and get free education for your kids and free health care while everybody else gets jack shit because they're an actual American. Yeah, that's ended now. Good. Under Obama, DHS personnel focused on the ground agent resources on immigrants with serious criminal records. Yeah, that was a mistake. Big mistake. Because they're all criminals, and they're getting welfare, and they're sucking our system dry. And they're stealing jobs, and they're lowering the wages of American workers. At the time, Obama's felons, not families. Yeah, this is all feel-good horse shit. Refrain guided immigration agents to exercise prosecutorial discretion, meaning he told them, don't send them out if they have kids. When weighing the cost of detaining immigrants, particularly parents with U.S. citizen children, against the necessary enforcement of federal immigration laws. Okay, first of all, they should not be citizens just because they're born here, okay? That whole part of the Constitution that says born here, that was created to protect the children of slaves who were born after slaves had been freed, after the Civil War. It was introduced to protect the children of slaves because there were big concerns about that. It was not ever intended to make foreigners coming into our country from outside and having kids. It wasn't intended to make their kids citizens. Felons, not families. This is absurd. They ought to be felons. It should be a felony. But good luck getting that through Congress. Good luck getting that through, okay? It should be the case. But there's so many leftists, there's no way. Now, as the Trump administration abandons his predecessor's enforcement priorities with zeal, now they're trying to paint him in a bad light by using a pejorative and using an adjective like zeal. He's zealous. He's using zeal. Yeah, it's zeal. Yeah, why not? He should be. Obama destroyed the country. He's got to rebuild it. I would hope he does it with zeal. Detention centers are growing with immigrant mothers and fathers. They're illegal aliens and they're not immigrant because immigrant implies legality. They are not legal. They are illegal invaders. They are invading our country. And just because they don't have weapons and not shooting the border guards and not shooting people doesn't mean they're not invading. There's different types of invasions. This is just a peaceful invasion. That doesn't mean it's not an invasion, you fools. And their underage children are left behind so quickly, grow up with coming and become their parents' biggest lobbyists. Yeah, well, why is that? Why don't they just take the kids back to Mexico? Because these kids have dual citizenship, so they could just take the kids back to Mexico. But no, they want to leave the kids there in America without them, their parents, because they want that kid to be there as a sort of anchor so they can possibly return in the future, and they'll have somebody who's working a job. By the time they can come back, these kids are 8, 9, 10 years old. Well, I can come back in 10 years, and my kids will have jobs then, and they'll be working, and then they can bring my lazy ass back over. I'll just walk over the border again, and then I'll have somewhere to live. They leave their kids there by their own volition. It's not like we're making the kids stay. They could go back to Mexico too. But oh no, it's our obligation to keep these kids in America and take care of them and feed them and clothe them and give them a good life. Yeah, right. So who's separating these families? Americans who want the illegals out and want things good for Americans, or their parents who came there in the first place? I vote for the parents. They're tasked to fundraise tens of thousands of dollars in a matter of weeks to get their parents out of immigration detention. How is that going to help? Oh, that's right. The person will disappear, never reappear. You'll all move, and they'll never be able to find her. Ah, I see. And there's her 4 bastard children that have no father. She's real responsible. Yeah. School has lent its way into summer vacation since Ortiz's detention. Other kids have been setting up lemonade stands, which are illegal. You need a license to set those up now in our wonderful bureaucratic mess of a country. It seems these people can't do anything legally. Elizabeth and her siblings are setting up an online fundraiser to raise money for the $12,000 needed to grant their mother's release. Oh, how does that help? Is she still going to be deported? Right, unless, of course, you break the law, break the bond, and she disappears, which is what all these people ultimately do. They just disappear. Obama was just letting them out when they got caught, and they'd never show up for their hearing. $12,000 needs to grant their mother's release with the help of the advocacy groups, Georgia Latino Alliance for Human Rights. That is circular logic, the word human rights, like right there. You don't have any rights. You have no rights. You have no rights. You have no rights you don't earn, you don't get. They're not given to you. And by the way, you're not just entitled to rights, okay? And you have no human right to be an American citizen. You do not have the right to cross our border and then stay here. You don't have squatters' rights. We had to fight for 400 years to get this country. And yeah, we did some despicable things to the Native Americans, but they also did many despicable things to us. And by the way, it wasn't their country to begin with. They were fucking nomads running around shooting buffalo and deer and shit. They never built anything on the land. They were fucking nomads. They were wandering around. And by the way, they stole the land from each other. It was already stolen property before we even got here. So how do you determine who the owner is, for God's sake, with all this ridiculous virtue signaling? We're the ones who came here. We actually built shit on it. We developed the land. We used it for something. We built it up. We developed the country. We developed the government. We developed a system of law and order. We actually built things on this fucking land. It's our land. We built this country. It didn't exist when we got here. We didn't steal the country from somebody else. So we're not immigrants at all. We didn't immigrate. We didn't come to a country. There was no country here before we came here. It was just some empty land, and occasionally the Indians would run through it, shooting shit with their bows and arrows. You have to set shit up on land, and you have to build on it and develop it for it to be yours. That's the way things worked back then. Idiots. Ridiculous. So the Georgia Latino Alliance for Human Rights, you have no right to go anywhere you want and just settle there. And National Immigration Project of the National Lawyers Guild. At least you don't have that right when there's already a goddamn country there that's developed and they have laws against that. There were no laws against that when we came to America. There were just a bunch of hunter-gatherers running around killing each other and stealing land from each other and passing it back and forth for thousands of years. Okay? I would hardly call that ownership of anything. Ortiz's detention has mentally exhausted her children. They dwell on every encounter, argument, and childhood memory they've had with their mom. Oh, boo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Give me a break, huh? She ain't some working-class hero, okay? And even if she were, that doesn't give her the right to go to America and live there without being a citizen of the country. Before we were kind of like troubled kids, Elizabeth said. But now, since that happened, we realized we messed up, and now we regret it because my mom's locked up. What did you mess up at? I'm wondering. What's the context of that statement? We realized we need to start changing and put more effort because my mom's a single mom, and we have to pull our part too. I find this quite sad, actually, and this doesn't just speak to an illegal alien single mother, to all single mothers, that these kids, these small kids, would feel guilty that they're not working enough to earn enough money or to contribute enough to the household. They're kids! This is not the 19th century where you pop out kids so you have more people to work on the fucking farm and be your own private army of slaves, okay? These kids should not be having any real worries until they hit 18. I mean, they should have some worries. I mean, parents should, of course, encourage their kids to work and maybe give them an allowance and make them do chores around the house and shit and give them odd jobs they can do for money and maybe encourage them to go out and cut grass and shit. But this is total bullshit, that they're actually feeling pressure from their poor, pathetic, idiotic mother who immigrated to a country that she would have a hard time living in, and that was her choice. It's very sad that these kids are feeling like guilty. They're feeling like they are not meeting some kind of basic requirement that they should be meeting as human beings to help their mother. That's her job to help you. It's not your job to go out and make money to help her. Give me a break. This woman is totally irresponsible. And we're supposed to feel sorry for her. Please. They need to pull their part too. Ortiz has been critical in their upbringing, Elizabeth said. Besides being a single mom to 4 kids, she works the night shift at a poultry plant. The children currently live with family members who have also struggled with their own deportation encounters. Imagine that. You're illegal aliens and you're struggling with deportation encounters. No shit. An aunt was previously arrested and detained before being released on bail, Elizabeth pointed out. Yeah, where's she at? She's disappeared into the ether, apparently. But as the oldest sibling, Elizabeth has become the parent to her 3 younger siblings. I think that's very sad that your mother is so irresponsible that she doesn't have a man, doesn't have a husband, living in a country where she's not a citizen, having to work all the time, and you still don't have enough to live. Your kids don't look thin to me, so you apparently have enough to live on because you're getting welfare from the government, of course, and you're not paying taxes, I bet. Elizabeth has become the parent to her 3 younger siblings, a role she describes as emotionally difficult. Yeah, you shouldn't have to be going through that role. Of course not. Your mother should be more responsible. But, of course, she's not, because she has to keep encouraging her siblings to believe their mom has a chance to get out of detention. Yeah, if you raise the money, she does, and then what? She's going to have to quit her job and move all of you somewhere else because there's no way she's not going to get deported. She's absolutely going to be deported. And you 4 kids will be left with what? You could go home with her, but, of course, then you'd have to be going back to Mexico. Oh, no, we can't have that. Or maybe you're not even citizens of Mexico because you weren't born there. Oh, I don't know. Are you Mexican citizens too? Would you want to go to Mexico? I bet you wouldn't. I tried my best to let them know that she'll get out soon. Maybe not. You shouldn't be raising false hopes, but they know and they feel like she's going to get out. Yeah. False hope is a good thing. Because even if she does get out, if she doesn't move and relocate, they're going to know where she is and she's going to get deported. Because there's no excuse, and it's the Trump era now, baby. It ain't Obama anymore, sweetie. I still give them hope because I don't like to see them down. Elizabeth said, I'm trying my best. I'm just trying my best. Ortiz's children hope their fundraiser and letters to the immigration judge would be enough to help their mom. No, it will not be enough. I sure hope it won't be enough. She needs to get the hell out of here before she pops out any more kids. You're trying your best. You poor kid. Yeah. Ortiz's children hope their fundraiser and letters to the immigration judge would be enough to help their mom. She's everything we got here. Yeah, that's her choice. You could have more if she hadn't had sex with 4 different guys or maybe 1 different guy but didn't stay with him. Where's the daddy? Where's the daddy? Oh, she just had you kids so she would have anchor babies to keep her in the country and so she could get more welfare cheddar. I see. Elizabeth wrote in a letter to the immigration judge to plead her mother's case. Please, I beg you, have a heart. It's always the heart bullshit, isn't it, with these fucking leftists? Even this kid has grown up to be a social justice warrior who believes she's entitled to free shit. And give her a chance to stay. Why? Why should I give her a chance to say she's not a citizen? What, are we just going to let the whole fucking world in? Yeah, I feel sorry for the whole world. Let's let in all the other 6.5 billion people. Very soon there's nothing left for anybody, you dummy. Dear Judge, I would like to tell some reasons why you should let my mom stay here. Well, first, I hope you're doing good. It's doing well, you idiot. My mom is a single mother with 4 kids. That's her choice, you dummy. So it's not his problem. This is another thing with the left. You make mistakes, and then we, good, responsible people, have to pay for your mistakes. Isn't that just incentivizing people to make more mistakes? I mean, don't you have to cut these people off eventually and say, okay, I would like to help you, but if I help you, I'm just going to incentivize people to do more bad shit and make more bad decisions. It's like when somebody abducts somebody, for example, or you got some terrorists and they take hostages. What happens if these hostages make demands and they ask for like $10 million and you give them $10 million? What happens the next day? You got every Tom, Dick, and fucking Harry moron criminal out there abducting people so they can get paid. You don't incentivize bad behavior. You punish it. Ay, ay, ay. She has went through so much to feed us. Get us what we need. Oh, please. She gets government cheddar, okay? She's a hard worker. She has went through so much that I just feel that, oh, God. She doesn't deserve this. Yes, she does deserve it. You get what you deserve. You come to the country illegally. You're an illegal alien. You don't try to become a legal alien. You use false Social Security numbers to get jobs. You do absolutely deserve it. She spelled deserve wrong with 2 S's. She's everything we've got. We got. Oh, Yvette, it's supposed to be present perfect, you dumb bitch. She is everything that we have got. It's everything that we have got. Okay, so you should be using the possessive form of have, honey. Don't. Ay, ay, ay. I mean, we have got here. The girl's grammar is terrible. She can't write. Poor education. Big surprise. Mommy's at home not at home, helping her with her fucking homework. She's out working at a poultry plant. She doesn't have a man. She's everything we got here. Please, I beg you, have a heart and give her a chance. He has a heart, honey. He has a heart, but he also has a brain. You cannot run a country on your heart. If you run a country on a fucking heart, the country will die within a week. Give her a chance to say, it breaks my heart when my baby sister cries because she's not just her, all of us. Her kid. Oh, my God, I can't read some of this. So my baby sister cries because she not just her, all of us. Her kids miss her and want her by our side. Please and thank you. Oh, my God. You know, I almost feel sorry for these people, except that it's their own goddamn fault. It's your mother's fault. She has to pay the consequences. You have to pay the consequences. That's how life works. There have to be consequences. If there are no consequences, nobody, I repeat, nobody learns from their lessons, and they continue to make the same mistakes. And we, good, honest, responsible people, continue to pay for your bad decisions. And by the way, if you see this example, you're going to grow up and make the same goddamn mistakes thinking that other people will bail you out of your shit that you created. George, Elizabeth's younger brother, who appeared with her in the fundraiser video. Oh, God, you can afford to make a fundraiser video? Of course you can. Separately appealed to the judge, in part writing, she's been with us all our lives. Yet that mothers generally are. So what? What does that doesn't make you special? What about the American mothers that are suffering because of people like you sucking out money from the system and then they can't get what they need to survive, huh? And we love her so much. Please give her another chance, George continued. She changed. I know she's so pleased. Oh, I don't understand half of what's being said here. I'm not. God, this letter. These letters are fun. They almost tug at your heartstrings. My mom doesn't deserve to be where. He's misspelled where. It's were that he wrote instead. To be where she's at right now. She's been through so much for her to be in there. We love my mom. Oh, my God. So much, and we need her because she's been through everything with us. She the only one that we need because she's been with us all our lives. He's just repeating himself now. He's run out of material. And we love her so much, so please give her another chance. She changed. I know she did. Oh, thank you. A little smiley face. Yeah, that smiley face will really win the judge over. Whole county where Ortiz was arrested is among 4 counties in Georgia actively participating in the federal 287 immigration enforcement program, allowing local law enforcement authorities to detain suspected unauthorized immigrants, you mean illegal alien invaders, for upwards of 48 hours on behalf of the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency for deportation proceedings. Thank you, Jesus. The others are Cobb, Gwinnett, and Whitfield, according to data compiled by The Intercept. Yes, that's another liberal rag. That's the one that got the leaked information from Reality Winner, the traitor who is now in jail. Gwinnett County, in particular, has seen a large increase in the number of people turned over for immigration, thank God. You untie the hands of law enforcement, they can do amazing things. for immigration violations between February and April. Local police held 500 people for ICE. Nearly 70% of them were held for traffic-related violations. Imagine that. Imagine that. Illegal aliens driving around without driver's license because they don't know how to drive very well, and they're getting pulled over for driving badly. What a shocker. Most were driving without a license. Yeah. That's what I said. The general scenario you would see is there's a high collaboration with ICE. What do you mean collaboration? A collaboration is what some of the French people did with the Nazis. It's not a pejorative or evil thing, and the ICE are not evil either. They're doing their job, and their job's a good one. A country has to have borders, and it has to root out and evict illegal alien invaders. That's how it works. Julie Mao, the enforcement fellow and staff attorney at the National Immigration Project, National Lawyers Guild, what? Told Think Progress. People are getting picked up for broken taillights. Oh, no! So we should stop picking people up for broken taillights, right? Or maybe we should stop deporting people altogether. Which is it? Which one is the bad thing? Sometimes with their children in the car. So we should not pull over people with broken taillights if they have kids in the car. Is that what you're saying? And getting arrested, then getting quickly transferred to ICE. Yeah, because they find out they're illegal. Maybe these people should not drive around with broken taillights. Maybe they should drive better. Maybe they shouldn't run red lights or stop signs. Or maybe, just maybe, they shouldn't be here illegally. Oh, right. There wouldn't be any problem at all if they hadn't come here illegally. Oh, but we can't look at that. The list of immigrant parents, you mean illegal alien parents in Georgia, arrested for driving without licenses is long. Yeah, right. Because they're lawbreakers initially, so they really don't care about breaking the law. They don't care about our laws, but we should invite them in and let them stay, right? There's Blanca E. Villa Estrada, a mother of 2 underage teenage girls. Who cares? What do I know? I don't care. Kick them out. Kick the kids out, too, for that matter. Who was also detained at Irwin. Her husband has begun a fundraiser to help pay for the $12,000 bond so they can all disappear and go on the lam, which is too hard because they have no paperwork and they live off the grid anyway. There's also Josefina Radilla Velasco, an undocumented single immigrant mother of 6 U.S. citizens. Yeah, because she dropped them here. And she thought that would protect her. She could have some immigrant babies, and they would become Americans, and then they could be anchors to keep her there. But she found out, Obama's not going to be in power forever, and Hillary didn't win. So now you're fucked. Stopped by police in Gwinnett County. She was also detained for driving without a license. Like Lisbeth Redilla's daughter, Alondra. Oh, God. You want to be Americans, but you pick these ethnic Mexican names. Okay. Has set up a fundraiser to raise $15,000. Ooh, he upped the amount. Very good. To get her mother out of detention. Her fundraiser talks about the constant fear of being separated from her mother. Oh, boo-hoo. You could always go back to Mexico with her, sweetie. Nothing's stopping you from doing that. Alondra said she has since taken on her mother's graveyard shift at the aquarium. Oh, my God. Currently, I took my mother's spot at her job, Alondra wrote in her fundraiser. Oh, you're a real champ, honey. She works the night shift, coming in from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. at the aquarium. 2 days before she got transferred to Irwin Detention Center, I went in for her so she won't lose her job. Good for you, sweetie. And you can legally work that job, too, because you're an actual American, unfortunately. If it was up to me, I'd kick you all out. Your mommies and daddies, and those of you born in America, because you're not American citizens in my book. It's not easy being a mother of 6 children. 6? What's she doing with 6 kids? This is what I mean. The poorest people popping out kids so they can get more benefits. It's not easy being a mother of 6 children. Now, can you all imagine what I'm struggling with at this moment? I can imagine. And you know whose fault it is? Your mommies! Mao said community groups like Galahar oh, my God, are reporting a huge wave of calls into their office on behalf of women or mothers. They are cases that normally under the Obama prosecutorial regime, which would be prosecuting nothing, wouldn't have been people that would have been picked up. Yeah, he didn't pick up anybody. He just said, I'm going to defer prosecution on everybody. Let's have a prosecution holiday for all illegals. What do you think so many people came here for? Because they knew they wouldn't get arrested. Ah, but the president's changed, sweetheart, and the free lunch is over. The detention of so many single immigrant mothers, well, you know, nobody told them to have kids and not have fathers in their lives, and nobody told them to come to America either. For traffic infractions isn't just very unusual, but cruel. Yes. So it would be more cruel if they shot somebody in the head and you found out that, I mean, it would be less cruel if they shot somebody in the head and they found out, oh, this is an illegal alien, than if they just pulled them over for a routine traffic stop and, oh, you're an illegal alien. So somehow being pulled over for, say, a traffic light being broken or running a stoplight is cruel if they're an illegal alien. But it's not cruel if you're an American citizen. What? That doesn't make any sense at all. Not one bit. I just don't think in the history of INS, the Federal Immigration and Naturalization Services Agency, which predated the creation of DHS before 2001, and DHS, that they've been as cruel and not understanding. Wait a second. It's either the law or there's no law, and you just do whatever the hell you want or whatever you feel like. Now, that's what they're advocating for. No laws, case-by-case basis, just do what feels good and don't enforce any law, because we don't want any laws. If you are undocumented and you were stopped by the police, you will be processed by deportation. Adelina Nichols, the executive director at GLHAR, said, right now, what we see is that local law enforcement is the initial hook to be used to process for deportation. It impacts the community at large. Okay, let me tell you something. You have absolutely no right to not expect to not be deported if you are found by the police and you are not legal. Go hide in your basement, only come out at night, and then you won't get deported. Otherwise, there's a very good possibility you might get deported. Maybe you shouldn't come here because you're not a citizen. How about that? A recent nationwide survey of advocacy groups found immigrant community members have been reluctant to reach out for assistance. Good, get out. That survey conducted by the advocacy group Tahiriyah Justice Center. Why do all these fucking things have such hard to pronounce names? Follows high-profile encounters by ICE agents of domestic violence survivors trying to get protective orders at courthouses and homeless people near churches. Our community shouldn't be participating and collaborating with... What do you mean collaborating with local law enforcement? They're not like jackbooted thugs out of fucking 30s Nazi Germany running around trying to root out Jews living in the basement so they can send them to a concentration camp or something like that. This is law enforcement enforcing reasonable, common sense laws that are absolutely 100% valid. But you're conflating them with jackbooted thugs that you should not collaborate with. And they're using the word collaborate because a collaborator is a naturalistically bad thing. Being a collaborator is bad. If you're collaborating with people who are evil. Yeah, the word collaborator has very negative connotations. So every bit of language they're using here is meant to throw a negative light on law enforcement and working with them in any way, shape, or form, like they're somehow the enemy. Our community shouldn't be participating and collaborating with local law enforcement. Nicholas said, they cannot have it both ways, meaning you want me to help, but at the same time, you're kicking my butt. Okay. Until her mother's court hearing, Elizabeth has been focusing on the good in her life, namely relatives who have been helping her family. Okay. You can do whatever the hell you want to make yourself feel better, honey. Doesn't matter to me. They've been helping a lot, meaning her family, Elizabeth said. They take care of us. Yeah, well, who else is going to do it? Mommy's in jail. They do everything for us. They do their best so we can't be more depressed. Are they legal? I doubt it. They cheer us up. Sucking her breath to prevent herself from being overwhelmed, Elizabeth took a little time to think about her future. Yeah, we should feel sorry for her because she almost broke into tears at that point. Oh, please connect with this poor victim of a child, and then you'll feel empathy for her mommy and let her mommy stay, even though the law says she's an invader and has to be kicked out. But to hell with the law, right? I wanted to be a nurse since the 5th grade because my grandma's getting older. This kid is a little too servile. There's too much family servitude going on here. She's far too servile to her own family. Why don't you try thinking about yourself, honey? Oh, that would be too selfish. I have to be like a leftist, and I have to think about everybody else and put my needs last and everybody else's needs first. So I'm going to take care of Grandma. I'm not going to get a good career and be successful. Oh, God, no. I'm just doing it to take care of Grandma. She's going to have problems, and I just want to be there for her and all my family. I want to try being there for yourself, honey. So this story is another typical story of what's happening in America. The illegal aliens are getting rounded up by ICE, which is very good, and the liberal media is trying to portray the law enforcement as scum, as black-booted thugs, as evil, as people come in the night to round up the poor, oppressed people and send them to the concentration camp. I mean, deport them. But you wouldn't think that was the case the way they're portraying it here. Unbelievable. This is unbelievable to me. I mean, all that ICE is doing and all the local law enforcement are doing are enforcing the law. But we somehow have to feel sorry for all these kids. I don't feel sorry for them. I'm sorry. But I can't afford the luxury of pity for you because life is difficult for everybody and you're not the only people suffering. And by the way, you and your mommy put yourselves in that situation. You have to deal with the consequences. That is reality. The moment you remove consequences from bad actions is the moment that you incentivize those bad actions, and people never learn from their mistakes. And then their kids don't learn from their mistakes. And that's why so many kids today are ending up like their parents. Which is in many cases a bad thing when you have all these single kids, these kids becoming single mothers, because their mothers were single mothers, of course, and I have no doubt that this woman's kids will by and large end up being single mothers as well and end up being losers. What a wonderful example she has set for them. None of you deserve to stay here. In my opinion, you should all be kicked out. The 4 kids, amazing. They were all 4 born in America. How about that? She came here illegally and just out of the blue started popping out kids. I bet she was already pregnant when she came here and said, oh, this is a good opportunity for me to have an anchor baby that'll keep me in America. So she crossed the border, and then she popped out 3 more in quick succession. What a champ she is. I am the MGTOW philosopher, and I wish you a good day. Take care.